What's cracking, traders? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle content. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some battles in the Master League that were sent in, featuring this behemoth bat right here, Lunala, newly buffed with Shadow Claw. This thing is an absolute menace in the Master League, and also not the most accessible thing. We've gotten like a lump total of like 5 Cosmogs to date, man. Scopely, if you're listening, please fix that problem, amongst the many others. But anyway, this trainer's going to be going ahead and putting a Kyurem Black, nice shiny, by the way, in the back as likely either a safe switch or a closer. And in the lead, we're going to have the Fairy Landorus. So thank you, Rollintheheat, for sending in these battles. If you'd like to send in some battles, if you're owned to the channel for Shoutcasting, there is a link in the pinned comment and description that you could fill out and send in the games. Let's get to the first battle. And I really have appreciated so much everybody who sent in Shoutcast. It's just, I have so much fun Shoutcasting these games. Anyway, in the first game, we're going to have Crown Zacian up front and center. And the opponent's going to be looking to catch that Sandsear Storm on their Kyurem. Rollintheheat's over farming here, going for their Sandsear and bringing in the Shadow Claw Kyurem. I personally opt for Dragon Tail, but I think both are incredible. The Shadow Claw energy generation is just insanely powerful. Going for the Fusion Bolt. Zacian's going to take that damage, but cannot get the farm down before this Kyurem's unleashing another Fusion Bolt. And Zacian staring down the team. Who's coming in? It's time for Landorus to come in. Back in it goes, throwing one Mud Shot and going to shield up a close combat. Opponents at the back-to-back. Is this Landorus worth saving? The opponent going for that resisted close combat, and Lunala takes the battlefield and is going to look to either well, you don't have to, right? How much damage does this do? Surf doesn't do as much as I thought, given that it was coming from Kyogre. But now this Lunala is getting very low on health. Looking to go for the Shadow Ball, getting that same type attack bonus on the Ghost type damage. Hitting the Kyogre for big damage. Opponent immediately switches in, but that's going to allow Landorus to get to a move. Unfortunately, I think if they stayed in and just went for the waterfall, it would have worked out in their favor. All right, getting to the next battle. We've got Dustman and Necrozma, the opponent immediately switching into their Kyurem. Now, this Landorus knows that this is not Ice Fang we're dealing with here, and is able to land a Stone Edge and hurt that poor defenseless dragon. How could you? Able to clap him off into existence, almost. That Stone Edge did a lot of damage, man. Kyurem is going to go down to this Palkia that's decided to come in and provide a one-shield farm down for this trainer. Lunala now takes the field of battle. I gotta stop using the same 3. You guys got it by now, I'm sure. But Landorus is going to swap in here to try and make quick work of this Necrozma. I got more. Don't worry. They're coming. Keep count. Sunsteel Strike, though, is clocking Landorus. But Lunala comes in with a bad attitude. And is looking to unleash that Shadow Ball. Get shields down. Can it get to the Shadow Ball? Yes, it can. Lunala's out here winging it for this trainer. And is going to be able to take that game well played. Quickly into this next game, we have a Kyurem White with Ice Fang in the lead. Opponent going into that Palkia. And, well, I would say Ice Fang Kyurem isn't enough to make me warrant being why are you so weak to Fairy. Because Ice Fang Kyurem, it does well enough. But the opponent's going to be able to get a full farm down on the Palkia. Again, just drop a shield. You can fully farm down that Kyurem. But at the same time, very, very low on HP. Lunala's going to come in looking to put up a shield. And is looking to now let this next move go. It can only be the Aqua Tail, getting that farm down. Just what Lunala needs to start setting up the sweep. Going for the Shadow Ball. With a flap of its wings, the Ball of Shadows gets shielded, unfortunately. But we're still doing fine here. Gonna be looking to make sure the opponent can't make the catch, but instead, Rollintheheat makes a savage catch of his own. My goodness, that Sandsear catch was disgusting. Very nicely executed. Landorus out here looking like Batman. Old man Batman, by the way. And oh, he's getting to the Sandsear Storm. I thought I was about to be like, oh, and he's going down, but no. Gets to the Sandsear, and that's a Moonblast that this Lunala's got. Bye. Next game, great lead. We have 2 very strong answers to this. If the opponent is running Ice Punch, that's okay. Technically, the Landorus does outpace here, but the Sandsear is going to do significantly less to the HP bar of that Annihilate that the Ice Punch would do. And the opponent is on Ice Punch, trying to catch those Landorus by surprise. Landorus going for the Sandsear Storm is going to get a shield here. Does the opponent get... No, the Ice Punch isn't enough. That is a double super effective Shadow Annihilate Ice Punch. And with a debuff, it barely does like 45%. That is insane. Opponent deciding not to shield that Dialga. That was a mistake, trainer, because now... Well, maybe not. All right. Hold on, let's see who cooks, because that's a mistake. You just still let Lunala... Yeah, you still let Lunala come in and get that farm. Kyogre's going to come in, but Kyogre is in for a bad day. It is not going to be able to get to the charge moves that it needs to be able to take this matchup. The opponent going for that Surf or the full sending. What do we got? Going for the Surf, making sure the opponent doesn't swap out by seeing them go for that Waterfall, go for the charge move, and gets the farm down. Opponent not getting to a move, and they concede. They know it's over. Well played. Picking up a really extraordinary lead here. And the opponent comes in with their own Dark Bird of Death. But this one is made of bacon, whereas ours is made of the stars, trainers. And Freeze Shock, even though Fusion Bolt is super effective, Freeze Shock is going to hit a heck of a lot harder and going to absolutely destroy that Yveltal. Now the opponent comes back in with the Dialga, looking to get that farm down, but has to shield a Freeze Shock to do it. Was it worth it? We'll find out. Landorus coming back in. Can tank an Iron Head, but not willing to risk it. Rollintheheat throws up the shield on the Iron Head. And now Landorus going for its charge move. Going to be able to shield and get that debuff as most debuffers do. But the opponent stays in with that debuff to fire off a move at Lunala. What do they have in the back? Roar of Time barely doing 60% or so. Lunala getting as much overfarm as it possibly can, firing off a Shadow Ball and looking to get whatever's in the back. It's the opponent's Solgaleo that just happens to be Psychic type. And guess what Psychic is weak to, trainer? It's weak to Shadow Ball. Good game. Well played. Rhyperior in the lead in the next game. And man, this is such a good matchup for Landorus. It's insane. Looking to no shield here. The opponent either not farming up to 5 or just getting a bait call wrong. They let it go, realizing that this matchup is not happening. But I think this is a tell that the opponent might be weak in the back to this Landorus. Would be probably good, and I think that Rollintheheat agrees to switch out here and try to get the opponent's third Pokemon out so that hopefully Landorus has a good amount of play in the back, and it is going to be the Crown Form Zacian, the new, biggest, baddest doggy. And he's throwing a charge move right now. Behemoth Blade absolutely rocking Kyurem and gets taken out, but able to get to the Sandsear Storm, the game saver, the winner, going to be able to get this debuff and a shield, and now it's up to Lunala, but it should be able to farm down with a shield here if it needs to. The opponent full sends the Behemoth Blade, and then Palkia is coming in to absorb this Shadow Ball. The opponent going to have to either shield this, have to shield it up because the HP on that Zacian, there it is. The HP on the Zacian is getting too low. They're throwing the Shadow Ball, banking on the fact that they can get the farm down before the opponent can get to a move that they simul KO of the Landorus. Good game. Well played. Next game, Palkia Origin is on the lead, and Landorus doesn't like this matchup, making a nice catch attempt there on that Aqua Tail, but the opponent isn't having it. They're going to full send the Spatial Rend. Oh, my goodness. That was a call. To be fair, most people would probably throw Aqua Tail, to be honest. Aqua Tail is thrown here indeed, but the opponent now comes in with their Landorus. Shadow Ball will do significant damage, and the opponent hasn't debuffed yet. Surely they're going to shield. They do not! And Lunala can simply farm down, hopefully with a shield. Perhaps a catch is coming. The opponent not able to get to the move, and unfortunately for them, Rollintheheat knows it and stays in with that Lunala to get that full farm down. Looking to bank nearly a Shadow Ball. Going for a bait attempt here. The opponent having a call. Do they make it? The opponent not willing to whisk it. They're not willing to whisk it. Palkia is going to end up barely surviving here. They're in the deep red. Is this Landorus going to be able to get this farm down? Yes, it can, but not at the expense of only throwing one Stone Edge. The opponent needs to call this bait. It's not a bait, and they know it, and they don't shield, and they have a move, and unfortunately, Lunala's not getting to that charge move, and goes down. Well played. Shadow Apex Lugia, a beast that I wish I had a decent one of. Please let us bottle cap our shadows, man. I have a sick Apex Lugia that I would love to build. Ah, not me being completely green with envy. The opponent gonna take that fusion bolt to the face and can't get to the freeze shock, unfortunately. But Landorus gets to come in and take a commanding lead in this matchup just because of its typing. The opponent just gonna go for those breaking swipes. They are not even bothering to throw the rock wrecker here, which honestly, I mean, you could play this matchup a couple of different ways, right? You could just go for the debuffs, or you could just try and go for the rock wrecker for the damage. Yeah, it's a tough one. You never know, because now that you got for one breaking swipe, you might as well go for two. You're gonna swap in to the Lugia, get farmed down. Lunala's got the dangerous energy lead, and in comes a Groudon, sporting Mudshot. Oh man, this is gonna be a close one, because two shields, if one bait goes wrong here, the Fire Punch is so much less energy than Earthquake. The opponent gets the bait call right. That is unfortunate for Rollintheheat. Now we're rolling in opponent having so much energy, but the Rhyperior tries to catch the Shadow Ball. Rollintheheat's not having it. Does lose CMP. The Lunala going to be able to get to a move, though. Shadow Ball is going to do a lot of damage here to this opponent. Let's see, does it KO? Yes, it does. Groudon not tanky enough. Good game. We got a Palkia lead the next game, and we're going to see a catch attempt yet again, but we actually get it. Is it the Spatial Rend? Rollintheheat, learning from last time, forced his shield up. Oh, unfortunate. The opponent, however, now going to be bringing in their Ho-Oh, and Kyurem gets the hit. Going through the shields, the opponent going for a charge move. It's that Brave Bird, and they're not able to keep switch even with that Brave Bird. Palkia comes in and is going to be able to farm down. Kyurem gone. Lunala comes in, looking to start to get ahead on energy. The opponent not likely to throw that Spatial Rend with just one or two Dragon Breaths. Shadow Ball gets the shield, and in comes the Landorus for the combo play. Sandsear Storm is going to do quite a bit of damage. Does this still knock out, though? Gonna go ahead and let it go. It does not knock out, and Florges comes in and is not able to get the farm down, and that is massive. That gives Lunala now a fighting chance into this Florges, as the attack drop is gonna make it so that Moonblast is not doing enough damage. The opponent full sends. It's not gonna matter, because I think they can just go for two Trailblazers now, and that's a scary thought. Shadow Ball, gonna not be doing it. Shield goes up. What in Batation? Why is there a bait? Why did the opponent swap? No, they have a move. Oh, I thought he was gonna get it. I thought he, oh man. Oh, that was it. Nope, good game. Well played. Very close. However, Kyogre's in the lead in the next game, and that's not. And Lunala is now up to bat. Ha! As it comes in to look to launch this Shadow Ball at the opponent's Kyogre, they're not swapping out, and in comes the Dialga. Honestly, they might not even know what to do against Lunala. It is a matchup that nobody has played almost at all ever in their life, especially now that almost nobody has them built, because we were all like, oh, Sogoleo's great. So Lunala, for me, top candidate for bottle capping, honestly. This thing is insanely strong. If you're still in this far in the video, first of all, thank you. I appreciate you. Lunala is definitely up there. I'm gonna try and do a video for those at some point, because I feel like that's good information. But opponent brings in that Ho-Oh. Send out the shield up Fusion Bolt. Kyurem still has two shields to hide behind. This Fusion Bolt gonna do a lot of damage, but it's not enough. Can it get anywhere closer to the farm down? Landorus gonna come in and is gonna have to withstand an assault of Sacred Fires and debuffs. The opponent's getting to another move. Has to let the, you can't. You have to shield this. You cannot let this go. In comes the Kyogre. Landorus taking a waterfall, unfortunately, but gonna be able to get there. The opponent out of energy. The Mudshot resisted farm down goes through. That's a good game. Well played. And my goodness, I haven't seen this noodle in a while. Well, if you're going to see it anywhere, this is the place to see it. At least it's not going to be able to get lined onto Lunala, where those Shadow Claws and every other move on this thing's arsenal is going to be doing double super effective damage. Looking to go into the Kyurem to get the Shadow Claws in. Trying to get an energy lead here. Kyurem gonna take a Dragon Pulse. The opponent brings the sauce. To be fair, I never would have expected Dragon Pulse, although it is such a good move option in this meta. With all these dragons running around? Oh, absolutely. Opponent's going to be looking to get the CMP tie lost if they try to throw a move here, which they did. Rhyperior losing quite handily the CMP to the Landorus opponent, down all shields, but Lunala, the last member of the battery, Going for the Moonblast. Can we get the one shot? The opponent respecting it. No, they don't. I don't think they had a shield. They were out of shields. Oh my goodness, they're out of shields. Why did I think they would shield? Of course they're not going to shield. So they let it go. And now Lunala flexing those Shadow Claws before going for the Shadow Ball undercharge to knock out the Tina. And now, wait, he needed for the energy for the Rhyperior, which we get. I apparently went somewhere during that game. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, we got Kyurem on the lead in the next game, and thankfully this is going to be the black one, which has no ice damage on the fast move, so you always are able to either stay in and take Dragon Tails or those Shadow Claws, which both of them are going to add up on this kind of not so tanky Landorus, but being able to get a shield, possibly two here, as the opponent not willing to go for the bait on that resisted electric damage. They are full setting, and I respect it. Landorus can now go let this go. Fusion Bolt would be enough from this range, even though it is resisted. That is a ton of damage. And the Kyurem comes in to tank the move, the Freeze Shock, doing huge damage. Lunala is now going to be able to sweep with shields down, going for the Moonblast, but not before this Palkia is able to get to a charge move. Spatial Rend is the move. The opponent now leaving themselves open to even more overfarm. Rollintheheat is going for the Moonblast, clapping the Palkia. In comes the Kyurem, going for the Shadow Ball. This has got to be enough. That's going to do it. It is. It has to. They have Zacian in the back. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh my goodness, he tries to go for it! Fusion Bolt! No! Oh, he almost had it! He needed the Fusion Bolt, but it was not to be. Florges in the next game. Awkward little lead here because of Trailblaze. It's very annoying, that little flower. It's great for the meta, though. Sandseer Storm, Tat drops. Going for that Moonblast? Perhaps. Yep, they full send it. Now the opponent is going to be able to safely swap into Ho-Oh instead of staying in and going for a Trailblaze to try and get a shield. No, I expected that much, but immediately going into the Ho-Oh. And Ho-Oh's going to have to start fearing this Kyurem's energy because those Fusion Bolts are going to do a massive amount of damage. And unfortunately for the opponent, Rollintheheat seems to have their timing on these fast moves down pat, and it is a beautiful thing to see. Sacred Fire is going to take out the Kyurem. Lunala coming in to get that farm down. Oh, you bet. Lunala's coming in for the energy. The opponent, not willing to give it up, goes into the Landorus at the last second as the opponent swaps in the floor just to go for the Moonblast. And we put up a shield so that we can keep this Landorus going. The opponent lets it go, saving their shield. Landorus facing down a Rhyperior, and this is probably one of the best things you could ask for at this particular point in time. You see, you have this Landorus that is forcing the opponent to throw the move. Lunala sitting in the back with energy, gonna be able to get this Shadow Ball in. Fortunately, no one-turn bring in there. Shadow Ball knocking out the Rhyperior. Ho-Oh can't get it done. No HP left. Lunala gets the farm down, and that's all, folks. All right, I'm done. Okay, let me know in the comments how many of those I popped off with, because I know that some of them are stupid, but it's all right. Y'all know what you signed up for. Dad jokes abundant. Yes, indeed. Anyway, thank you all for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you think about Lunala. I think it actually looks like a very strong Pokemon in this meta. Very neutral, kind of like how we had Dawn Wings at one point. And yeah, I think it's awesome. So let me know in the comments what you think. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.